All right, everybody, I have spent the last 2 days removing drywall and the OSB from the west, south, and north portion of the living room in the 1930s house. And today, my goal is to finish cleaning up the bays, the walls basically. So I have some foam board insulation in all of the bays here. You can see the white stuff here behind me. That stuff needs to come out. And then I need to vacuum up any debris, whether that's leftover insulation pieces, mouse droppings, whatever it may be. And that way I can get these walls clean and ready to have insulation put back on, or back in, and insulation put back on. But before I do that, and after I get the walls clean, what I'm going to start doing is taking up the subfloor. So the flooring in this room, there's 2 layers. There's a layer of probably like 1/2 inch plywood, and I think it was just screwed in. And so I'm going to remove that, exposing the tongue and groove, 1 inch tongue and groove oak subfloor. And that stuff I'm going to be taking off as well, and I'm going to try to do it in a way that I can preserve the tongue and groove boards for a project down the road, whatever that may be. So anyway, I'm going to get started cleaning these walls, getting things all cleaned up in here, and yeah, I'm really excited about the next portion of this project. I just spent the last hour and a half cleaning out the bays of all of these, the exterior wall here, using the vacuum cleaner, using pliers and stuff to get a bunch of little pieces of pink insulation stuffed into crevices. I got all those out as well. I got that out and I vacuumed up a bunch of just debris that was in these walls. My suspicions are confirmed, and I am very glad that I removed the drywall insulation and the sheathing that were on these external walls, because I was really afraid of how dirty they were, and very specifically about any mold. Because if you guys remember, we had a big mold problem down in the crawl space that I took care of in the first 4 months when we moved onto this property. And these exterior walls on the west side of the property of this house here has a pretty bad patch of mold, and so I'm going to be using the same product that I used to remediate the mold down in the crawl space. I'm going to do that now and then let it either air out for the next 2 hours or maybe even overnight before I come back in and start removing the subfloor or the floor. So I'm going to get to now, make this place nice and clean, and when I have that cleaned out and I have these walls done, every wall in this house will have been cleaned out, vacuumed, new insulation put in, new drywall, and sprayed down for mold if it was needed. So this house will be nice and clean and ready to be put back together to live in. I got the fan going in here for circulation. The time lapse that you just saw was about 1 hour and 20 minutes worth. So I'm not sure if the formula or if the mold remover that I'm using is just old and expired, or that's just a really heavy set amount of mold on the walls there. But it didn't get it quite as spotless as I had hoped. I'm probably going to hit it with another round of it, but first what I'm going to do is use the second product. So that product that I just used there was the mold and mildew stain remover. And now what I'm going to do is get the mold and mildew disinfectant. I'm going to spray that with a mister, and I'm going to get all of the walls, get everything just to kill any of the mold spores that are left behind. And then I might do another hit of the stain remover just to clean it up. But my main goal is to make sure that the mold is killed more so than the stain is removed. So I'm going to get to that now, and then maybe tomorrow I can start on the floors. Been overnight, and I let the house kind of clear out of all the smells. So just finished vacuuming up the floor, and what I want to do is just see how easy the plywood comes off. It looks like it's just screwed in, so I'm hoping it comes off fairly easy. I really don't need to do that right now. There's still some more demo work to do, but I'm kind of itching to get some of this flooring off just to see how it goes. So that's what I'm going to do. I was able to get out a lot of the screws, most of the screws, from the first sheet of plywood Probably 5 or 6 of them, however, are stripped and I can't get them out. So probably just gonna cut around them with the oscillating tool or maybe the skill saw. But I may end up going to the store and getting one of those bits that apparently can take a screw out with a stripped head. All right, I'm not really sure what type of material this is. Maybe it's like tar paper for roofing. Maybe it's a common underlayment. I'm not really sure. It's kind of thick. Hi, Levi. I wasn't really expecting it, so I don't really know what the purpose is. But anyway, so as you can see, Levi. Yeah, so basically, as you can see, I just used the skill saw to cut around the screws that I couldn't get up with the screwdriver, and then slowly pried the 3/4 inch plywood up with 2 pry bars. And that worked out well. Now I have some screws with little blocks of wood left in the ground, and I need to get those out. So I'm probably going to end up running over to Lowe's and getting that bit, then get stripped screws out. I think that'll make this process go a lot faster. Spend a little time driving into town and coming back and working on that. But it's going fairly well, about as good as I thought it was going to go. And it looks like so far this 3/4 inch plywood is in pretty good shape. I think this black stuff is just that tar paper or whatever that underlayment is. So I can use that for future projects, non-house type projects. So I'm gonna go run to the store, get the part that I need to make this a little bit faster, and then I'll continue. So while I wait for Katie to be available to go into town with me, I thought I would just go ahead and start taking up the screws that will come up. And I'm using a really strong magnet to find the screws that are maybe painted or buried underneath like the paint or glue or whatever. So it's working pretty well. And then I'm going to mark the screws that are stripped. These aren't stripped, they're not coming up. There's nothing for them to track onto. So like here, I can't really see where the screws are. I know that they'll be in this line right here. Yeah, here's one right here. All right, what was supposed to be like an hour and a half trip turned out to be way more than that. But I got the stuff I wanted, so I'm gonna try to get these screws that are stripped out with the, let's see, what is it here? Let me show you what I got. These, this speed out, this speed out is what it's called. So we'll see if these little guys work. Let's give them a try. Huh. Does not seem to be working. Doing nothing. So, no such luck with this tool here. There's two ends. There's the removal end, and then there's the burnishing end. And one of them is supposed, so this end here is supposed to put a big hole in the center of the screw, and then you turn it over and you use the removing end, and it's supposed to grip into it and pull it out. It's not working. So I guess I'm just gonna have to cut the pieces out with the skill saw and with the oscillating tool like I have been doing.